Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, my people, my Biafran people, my people, my people, my people, my people, my Biafran people. Now, how on a day I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This one, na Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo Mazenamde Kano. May God bless, may God bless, may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, the one and only ESN, Ekpa, Simon and Joko, for the great job Simon is doing. Simon, we want to say we thank you, we appreciate you, we love you. We know in your hands Biafra is coming, in your hands Biafra is safe, and in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people of Biafra will rejoice. My fellow Biafrans, today, permit me to sound formal. I must sound formal today because I am speaking to the international organizations. Today, I want to speak to Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, the Foreign Secretary of America. Today, I want to speak to ANT0NY BLlNKEN. I want him to understand that his visit to Nigeria was null and void. It was of no effect. Today's title is Simon Ekpa. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, do you really understand the Nigeria you visited? What's going on in Nigeria that you visited? Do you really understand the country you visited? Because before 24 hours, in less than 24 hours of you visiting the so-called country known as Nigeria, in less than 24 hours, the Boko Haram, the Fulani killer headsmen, they struck in Plateau State. So my question is, how safe is Nigeria? Because from your discussion with the president, from your discussion with the press, you were trying to speak about supporting them financially to create peace. But how do you create peace in an ideology? A people with an ideology, people who are different from the way we think, a people who are not supposed to be one. How do you foster peace? By putting in money. I heard you talking about spending $45 million. America supporting Nigeria in terms of their security with $45 million. To do what? Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, I want to tell you to please understand that the days of trying to throw money around to solve problems, those days are gone. My fellow Biafrans, today, you will listen to ANT0NY BLlNKEN in his discussion with the member of press. You will also listen to the real perspective of what is happening in the Nigeria that they call Nigeria. That contraption. You will hear a first-class information of what is happening in Plateau as we speak, 24 hours before ANT0NY BLlNKEN left that so-called Nigeria. So if you're ready with me, sit back, relax for this great analysis. Let's go.
That we see to strengthen partnerships and to actually meet our common challenges. And it's a natural for us, in part because of history. But again, when we think of the future, what we think and what we see and what we feel is Africa. And that's why President Biden has made sure that we're focused, even with everything else going on in the world.
Hold on, sir. With all due respect, you said when America looks into the future, what they see is Africa, which is why President Joe Biden has decided to come with this partnership. With all due respect, I want you to understand that the Africa that you are seeing, if Biafra is not in that picture, then what you are seeing is doom and gloomed. If you are trying to look at Africa from the lens of that contraption called Nigeria, then what you are seeing is doom and gloom, because Nigeria is going down. Nigeria is going at the point of no return, because those who are the rulers of Nigeria, those who Britain told they were born to rule Nigeria, they are going all the way to change Nigeria into an Islamic country. Mr. Blinken, I want you to understand that the so-called Nigerians in America, when you look at the statistics, when you look at the percentage, you need to understand that 65% of the so-called Nigerians living in America are Biafrans. 35% of them are the Yorubas, and the rest of them within the less than 0.99% are the mixed. Those from the Middle Belt, those from Hausa, and the rest of them. So your major stakeholders, the major key stakeholders you should be speaking to are those living in America. And most of them, like I just said, in terms of the percentage, are the Biafrans. So when we are saying we are done with Nigeria, when we are saying we choose not to be Islamized in Nigeria, Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, you need to listen to us. Because it makes no sense for me to have freedom, liberty, and justice in America, where I could choose my own religion, my way of life, my sexuality, but only to return to Nigeria, where you say I'm from, or a country you are trying to keep as one, a country where your government is trying to waste our taxpayers' money to keep as one. When I go to Nigeria, do you know I'll be forced to become a Muslim? I am somebody who sees myself as a Christian, as someone practicing the African spirituality. But do you know that those ruling Nigeria, their intention is to turn us into Muslims? Mr. Blinken, with all due respect, that is something we don't intend to go into. I want to exercise my right the same way you have it in America, the same way they have it in Europe, Asia, and the rest of them. I am not ready to become something that I am not. I am not ready to lose my fundamental human right to a people who believe in a culture, in an oral tradition given to them by their spiritual leader, known as Usman Dan Fodio, who has taken a vow to turn Nigeria into an Islamic country. So when you hear about Boko Haram, when you hear about ISWAP moving towards Western Africa, you should understand the reason why they're doing it. When you hear about the Fulani killer headsmen coming into different lands, pillaging the land, killing the people, stealing their lands, you should understand that throwing money on it is a waste of time. It's an ideology that they believe in, and it's an ideology they are working towards to fulfill. They want to actualize the goals of their forefather, their spiritual father, known as Usman Dan Fodio. So today, I am demanding from ANT0NY BLlNKEN to please respect my rights as a human being. I refuse to change my religion. I refuse to be forced out of my nation known as Biafra, and I choose to remain a Biafran. If it is good for you, it is also good for me. If in 1776 America was faced with the same situation with yourself and Britain, and your mantra then was give me liberty or give me death, today in the year 2024, we the Biafrans, we are being met with the same situation. The same scenario is playing out again, where a people that Britain told they were born to rule, they are working together with the Islamic countries to turn Nigeria into an Islamic state, and you are there in your high horse talking about sending money to solve the problem. Keep your money to yourself. Do not waste the $45 million of the hardworking American taxpayers. Keep your money to yourself, because money will not solve this one. Money will not solve an ideology. If you take it back to the days of September 11, money did not solve the problem. George Bush has to go down to Iraq, Afghanistan to wage the war and take care of the enemy. If you look at Israel and Hamas, when Hamas did what they did, the Israeli government did not sit back and say, we are putting money. We want to put in money. Even America did not say they are giving Israel money to solve the problem. Israel went all out to do what they have to do to protect the citizens of Israel. So today I am speaking from the mountaintop. I am speaking like the days of Malcolm X. I am speaking like the days of Martin Luther King. I am demanding freedom for my people. I am shouting, I am yelling for freedom. Today we thirst for freedom. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, you have no right coming to that zoo called Nigeria, coming to that so-called contraption called Nigeria, a place created by Britain, a contraption created by Britain. You coming there and saying you are putting in your money to keep us as one is an insult to the Biafrans living in America. You better go and do your research. Ask your people out there to do the research. Most of the so-called Nigerians in America are Biafrans or the Yorubas. The Fulani cabal, they don't travel. When they travel with a Nigerian resource, the money from the Nigerian purse, what they call the national cake. They don't live in America. They live in Nigeria because they are being fed with the oil money gotten from the land of Biafra. My fellow Biafrans, let us listen to ANT0NY BLlNKEN. Listen.
Now, let's ask you to speak to us about U.S.-Nigeria security collaborations, especially in combating terrorism and regional stability, which are affecting economic and development efforts in Nigeria.
I think the challenge there is acute, and we can't minimize it, but we're also determined to proceed in partnership with Nigeria in meeting that challenge. Now,
hold on, sir. You just said the challenge there and meaningful is not something you can look out with, but also you said you're working towards working with Nigeria to solve the problem when you know the problem itself was created by the government of Nigeria. Hello. I don't get that argument, sir, with all due respect. The people are saying that the government are behind the pillaging of the land, the stealing of the resources, and changing us into Islam. That is their number one agenda. And you're here saying you're trying to work with the government of Nigeria. I don't get it. When we are saying that the government of Nigeria is run by the Fulani cabal, those who are being supported by Saudi Arabia and the rest of them, and you're still saying your government, you want to take American government into supporting a country, a government run by Nigerian Fulani Caliphate, those who are destined to turn Nigeria into an Islamic country. I don't get your argument with all due respect. I don't get it. I don't understand how America will be working with a government who are determined to turn all the people living within that environment into Islam. I don't see how you want to work with them. You should be looking at the main stakeholders. You should be looking at the Nigerians who are based in America, who have your citizenship, and who are saying they want to go back home to their land. A place that we had, a country we had, a nation we had before the coming of Britain. because Britain is so responsible for what is happening in that contraption called Nigeria. So you is talking about going to partner with the government of Nigeria to solve the problem. With all due respect, you are putting your money in the wrong places, because the government of Nigeria, they are designed, they have one destiny, one goal, one aim, one objective, to turn Nigeria into an Islamic country. And with all due respect, I am not ready to become an Islamic person. No, I am not ready to choose or to change my religion. With all due respect, that will not work out. We, the Biafrans, we are saying we are done with that thing called Nigeria, because it was created by a people, by a foreigner, by an entity that we have nothing to do with in the first place. I'm saying enough is enough. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, enough is enough. We, the Biafrans, we have had enough. We are saying we are going home. But my people, please sit back, relax, and listen to the man and his viewpoint. Let us hear what he intends to do in Nigeria and how he intends to solve the security situation in Nigeria. Listen.
Has to be, and I believe it is, a comprehensive approach. Of course, there's the hard security part of this. And so things that we're doing in terms of building capacity in Nigeria among the security forces, the military, equipment, technology, intelligence, information sharing.
With all due respect, you are trying to build a partnership in terms of all what you've mentioned: security, intelligence, and the rest of them. What you don't understand is those you are sharing the intelligence with. I hope you are not sharing American intelligence with the Nigerian government, because they are down with Boko Haram. They believe in Saudi Arabia. They believe they are working with Iran, with Turkey, with Tunisia, and the rest of them. So any information you are sharing with them will go to your enemy. Let that be known. Let that be known that whatever you share with the Nigerian government, take it as you're sharing it with the enemies. Take it that you're sharing it with your so-called enemies. Because Nigeria cannot be trusted. Nigeria is an Islamic country. According to Lord David Cameron, the Foreign Secretary of Britain, he declared that Nigeria is now officially an Islamic country. So you sharing your information with them, I don't see how that's going to help the American project towards, securing Africa or having a bilateral understanding or partnership with Africa. With all due respect, if you say you are giving them the equipment to run that zoo called Nigeria, I want you to know that you are funding the killing, the pillaging of Christians living in that contraption called Nigeria. Because from all the things you've given to them, from all the weapons, the flying jets that you're giving to that zoo called Nigeria, I want you to know that they've been used to attack the Christians. They've been used, your weapons, your American weapons that you sell to Nigeria, the equipment, the military equipment you sell to that zoo called Nigeria, they've been used to attack the Christians. They've been used to grab lands from the Christians. They've been used to convert Christians to Muslims. And they've been used to find a way to stop the movement of Biafra. We are the Biafrans. We are saying, with all due respect, you don't know what is really happening in Nigeria. The president will not tell you because he is just a stooge to the Fulani cabal. And the Fulani cabal, they've been told by Britain, they've been given the blessings of Britain that they are born to rule. So with all due respect, whatever you went to do in Nigeria was a waste of time. You have wasted your time going to Nigeria, because Nigeria is not a country. Nothing good can come out of Nigeria. Listen.
All of those kinds of things are very important. But also important is taking a comprehensive approach if you're really going to be effective, for example, in dealing with extremism or terrorism. The relationship between security forces and the communities that they're supposed to be protecting is critically important. Making sure that the forces are there looking out for the people, not enabling or doing bad things to the people.
There you go. There you go. You just asked a question and gave the answer of what is actually happening in Nigeria. the so-called security forces, the so-called Nigerian security forces, they've been partnering with Boko Haram. They've been partnering with ISWAP. In fact, the Nigerian government has integrated those you call Boko Haram, those you call ISWAP, into the Nigerian military, into the Nigerian police and Nigerian customs. So there is no partnership within the so-called military and the communities. What you have is the stealing of the land. When the killer headsmen are coming, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, and other military parastatals, they give way. They are not found whenever the so-called killer headsmen, Boko Haram, and the rest are coming to pillage the land. Where you find them is the land of Biafra. The only time they are active is when they are in the land of Biafra. So today, Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, I will share not my own views, because when I share my views, people might say I'm being biased. They might say I'm leaning towards the Biafran side. So today, I will share the views of the media, the independent media in Nigeria. So you will hear a different version of what is happening in Nigeria. You will hear a different perspective of what is going on in Nigeria. You went to Nigeria, but those you spoke to, they didn't tell you the real situation happening in Nigeria. Because in less than 24 hours, you will see what happened before you said goodbye. Less than 24 hours when you said goodbye to Nigeria. Listen to what happened. Listen. Right now, Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, I want you to listen to what happened in Nigeria while you were saying goodbye, flying through your plane and heading back somewhere else. While you were leaving that country called Nigeria, within 24 hours, I want you to listen to what happened in Nigeria. Listen to the independent media. I will not speak on this perspective. I will not give you my own perspective. I need you to listen to the media from Nigeria so you will get the real information of what is happening in Nigeria. Listen.
Our next story. In Plateau State, in spite of assurances by security agencies and government, at least 30 people have been killed in Mangu local government area.
Boom! In Plateau State, in spite of the assurances given by the Nigerian military and the government, 30 people have been killed. So, Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, I am telling you now, I am speaking to the people of America, do not waste your $45 million to the Nigerian government. Giving them that money is a waste. See it as you being Santa Claus. It's a waste. Because despite the assurance given by the Nigerian military, despite the assurance given by the so-called vigilante groups, governors, and those in Plateau State, the moment you left Nigeria within 24 hours, guess what? 30 people were killed. 30 human beings were killed by the Fulani killer headsmen known as Boko Haram and ISWAP. All in one, they are all together. They are all intertwined. Less than 24 hours of you going to visit that zoo called Nigeria. When we tell you we are done with Nigeria, now you understand why. I am not ready to turn into an Islamic person. I believe in the freedom of religion. I believe in the freedom of expression. And I believe of having my own right as a human being. I am not a slave to nobody. I am saying I am done with that contraption called Nigeria. That country created by Britain, I am saying I am done with it. We are done with it. We are going home. Biafra is home. Nigeria is not home. Biafra is home. Because the earlier we do that, the better for us. If not, soon and very soon, the whole land of Nigeria will become a statistics. What is happening in Plateau State, if we allow it to continue, it will happen in the whole of the country. We are saying no to that. We are saying no to Usman Dan Fodio. We are saying no to the Islamization of that so-called Nigeria. We are saying no. We are going home with the Biafrans. We are declaring our freedom. We are tired of being slaves. We own the oil. We own the resources in that so-called Nigeria. But when it comes to the affairs of the government, nothing is sent down to the people of Biafra. We are done with Nigeria. We have no business with Nigeria. We are saying enough is enough. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, do not waste the resources of America. To all my Biafrans in America, we must rise up and tell them, not in your name will they go out there to waste the resources, give the resources to the terrorists who are killing people in Nigeria. Tell them, not in your name. Tell the government of America that not in your name. In less than 24 hours, ANT0NY BLlNKEN, listen to the real Nigeria. Come and listen to the real gospel of Nigeria. Come and listen to the real story of what is happening in Nigeria. Listen.
And this happened despite a 24-hour curfew imposed by the state government. This latest violence started early Tuesday morning when mosques and churches were burnt over a row over cattle turned deadly.
Boom! Churches were burned, my sister, don't say mosques. It was the churches that were burned in Plateau State over a miscommunications of cattle rustling. That's the same gimmick they come with. The same regular trademark. They say, oh, it's about the farmers and, and the cattle herders. But suddenly the churches in Plateau State are being burnt. What you are seeing there is churches being burnt down. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, I'm saying thanks, but no thanks. We are saying thank you, but no thank you. We don't need your money. Keep your money to yourself. Keep American money to yourself, because we, the Biafrans, we are living Nigeria. We cannot integrate into a burning house. There is no way my people, the 70 million Biafrans, can reintegrate into a burning house. We are living. We are going home. We are going to our own nation the way we had it before the coming of the white man. We are going home. Because if we keep on dilly-dallying, if the West, if America, Europe, the UN keep on dilly-dallying, before you know it, Nigeria will turn into an Islamic country. So make haste while the sun shines. We are saying keep your money, keep your dollars. Do not waste the taxpayers' money of America. Keep your dollars to yourself, because with the Biafrans, we are going. We don't need your money. We are not beggars. We are people of, we are proud people. We don't need your money, America. Keep your money to yourself. All we are saying is give us the freedom. We want to go. We need and demand our independence. We are going home. Let's continue.
Residents of the area say several armed men invaded Kwasha-Slalek village, shooting sporadically and burning buildings. More than 100 people lost their lives in similar violence in another part of Plateau State over Christmas. All right, Rufai, you already alluded to this story when we were speaking about the fiscal side of that the CBN governor talked about tackling insecurity. Now Plateau State, despite the curfew, lives were lost yesterday. Your take on this story,
Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN? I want you to listen to the real media in that zoo called Nigeria. Because when we speak, you say, oh, we are being biased. We are pro-Biafra, which is why we are saying what we are saying. I want to be neutral here. Listen to the media of Nigeria. These are the people you should be speaking with next time you go to Nigeria. Listen to what happened in Nigeria in less than 24 hours of you leaving Nigeria. When you went to Nigeria, you thought all was fine. You thought just spending money, promising them money will solve the problem. No, there was no partnership that you need to do with a criminal government. Nigeria is a criminal government. They are fraudsters, they are criminals. They want to turn Nigeria into an Islamic country. And we, the Christians, we are saying enough is enough. We want to have nothing else to do with Nigeria. Listen to the real media you should be listening to. Listen to the way they speak. Less than 24 hours of you living that contraption called Nigeria. Listen to what happened.
And it's the sad part of the story that despite the curfew, lives were lost. Not only as we lost, churches were burned, houses were burned, places were destroyed. And I ask, what's the strength of the state to be the sole commander of violence? And I ask that question for a reason. Because if you have a curfew means that if any other person tries to dare the state, it will have a colossal effect.
Okay.
But these days, curfews are broken. You hear military officers get to the site of a killing and say, oh, these people, goodness me, it must be the devil. They are so fast. They were in multiple areas at the same time. You hear the people say they are beginning to lose trust in the military. And the Plateau has been a place of killings, all sorts of violence happening. It didn't start today. A couple of years, I think a year or two ago, we're talking about the Uruguay massacre. Now we're having other violence. A couple of months ago, we talked about Mango. We talked about Bokos. Now this over cattle, and nothing has been done. And in all of this, where's the commander-in-chief, I ask again?
Okay.
Oh, away on a private visit for 2 weeks. A la France.
A la France. Adios. Goodbye to you. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, the man you went to visit in Nigeria, the moment you left, he also left that country for 2 weeks. He's on holiday. And before one could say Jack Robinson, the Fulani killer headsmen, the Boko Haram, the ISWAB, they are back to continue the task. They are back to continue where they stopped. To prove to you that you coming to Nigeria was your biggest mistake, they are back in less than 24 hours to kill more Christians, burn down churches, and they are saying Nigeria must be Islamized. I hope you know the history. I hope you know the history. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, I hope you know the history of Nigeria. I hope you know the history of Usman Dan Fodio. And I hope you know the history of how Britain named us as one in 1914 when they came and they amalgamated us as one country. I hope you know this history. I hope you understand the mission of Usman Dan Fodio. If not, then you may have to call your historians to lecture you on the man they call Usman Dan Fodio. An Arabic man who came from the Arab world, came to the west part of Africa. He came to West Africa and he said he was going to Islamize Nigeria. He was doing it until he was stopped by Britain, and they had a partnership, an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, where Britain promised the Fulani Caliphate that they were born to rule. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, you must know your history. With all due respect, you must know your history, because if you know your history, then there is no way you'll be assuming or you'll be trying to waste the resource of your poor Americans into the affairs of Nigeria to make us one. When we are saying we cannot be one people, our culture is different, our way of life is different, our psychology to life is different, the way we perceive the world is different. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, with all due respect, do not integrate the Biafrans into a burning house. Nigeria is going down. Nigeria is done. And the thing you know called Nigeria is nothing but a contraption. Nigeria is now a banana republic where everything goes, which is why the Saudi Arabians, Turkey, and the rest of them, they are saying it is time to Islamize Nigeria. That is the conquest. That is the number one goal, the number one agenda of Boko Haram, of the Fulani killer headsmen, of ISWAB and Usman Dan Fodio. I rest my case on this one, my people. Before I go, I must play the message, the broadcast of our Prime Minister, His Excellency Ekpa Simon Njoku, where he spoke on this matter, and where he tried to explain or address Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN. Listen, my fellow Biafrans, listen.
Good evening, fellow Biafrans all over the world. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the press. that have gathered here this evening to listen to the space in response to the Secretary, United States of America, Secretary of State, visit to the Islamic State of Nigeria in the middle of conflict. Let me start by referencing the declaration of the 1776 July 4th of the United States of America. The unanimous declaration of the 13th United States of America, when in the course of a human event, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political band, which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature of God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure this right, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government become destructive of this end, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principle and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that government long established should be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evil are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the form to which disposed to suffer. But when a long train abuses and usurpation, pursuing invariably the same objective, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute disposition, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guard for their future security. Such has been pertinent. The sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrained them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct and object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the state. To prove this, let fact be submitted to a candid world. These were the wording of the United States of America Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. The United States of America that gave Blinken the power, the impetus to fly to Nigeria and represent America today as an independent state. He went there. I was expecting them to ask questions concerning separatists. They could not summon the courage, because the heat has come earlier before this press briefing, I keened, listened very attentively. None of the question borders on the insecurity in Nigeria. None of the question borders on the so-called separatists in Nigeria. None of the question borders on those things, nonsense noise they are making on social media and in their media space. The question borders on two-state creation of Palestine. It's a disgrace. So Biafra people, there is no cause for alarm. When confronted with the question of two-state in Gaza, of course, Blinken showed the dubious character he displayed. Could not answer that question straight. However, we have no permanent enemy and we have no permanent friend. And we, the Biafra people of this current generation, does not change our policies according to whom we meet. We does not change our stand according to who talk to us. Our principle remain firm and stand. We doesn't change our principle. So, those who want us to be friends, we will be friends. Those who does not want us to be friends, we don't want to be friends with them. We have better people in America who understand the plight of Biafra people than the so-called Blinken and his group. They are leaving office very soon. I just want to respond to them that Blinken, if not for the Declaration of Independence State of America in 1776, there will be no Blinken today. If America did not take bold step, just like Simon Ekpa is taking the risk today, and many Biafrans taking the same risk today, there will be no Blinken. If America did not take this particular bull by its horn against Britain, there will be no America today. Do you people understand it? But today, these are the people who want to tell you the policy. They call it foreign policy. These are the people who turn around after they have fought for their own freedom, enjoying themselves from 1776 till now. They are now telling you how to live your life. They tell you, no, you don't need to declare freedom. No, let us go in peace. They did not go in peace. They fought Britain. The same Britain we are fighting today, the evil Britain did to America have not ended. Britain have not changed on Biafra. That same policy that inflicted on America is the same policy they have inflicted on Biafrans. And our own is worse. And America, not all America, but few corrupt individuals in America who did not understand what freedom fighting is all about. Because Blinken doesn't know anything about freedom fighting. He was not part of those who fought for America. He was born in a platter of gold. He was born in a free world. He was born in a free America. He was not part of it. So he doesn't know what it means to fight for freedom. However, I want to assure Biafran people today that our fight is against the Islamic State of Nigeria, against their military, against their police, against every forces under Nigeria carrying arms in Biafra land. And again, there was no question about separatists. There was no comment about Southeast, South-South. There was no comment about anything Biafra, which is good. They avoided it. But let me tell you one thing. It is deeper than you can ever imagine. They pretend they doesn't take us serious. They pretend that, oh, do not talk about these separatists too. Don't bring them. Don't talk. But behind the door, they discuss it. Behind the door, the main topic today is Biafra. Behind the door, Blinken will be talking about Biafra. The same Blinken, immediately he became the Secretary of State of America, the first thing he did was to remove Nigeria from the country that persecutes Christians. Even when he has not arrived in Nigeria. He was touring Africa. He was from one African country. Before he arrived in Nigeria, he removed them from the list of countries that persecute Christians. Today, nobody asks question about the removal of Nigeria from the country that persecute Christians, about the protests of Christian community and many organizations against the United States that they should include Nigeria as a country that persecute Christian. None of those people ask those questions, ask such questions, because they have arranged it country of crime, scam, and criminals. They have arranged the people that are supporting the Islamic State to ask questions. They avoided pertinent questions that has to do with their so-called Nigeria. These are the questions that they should have asked. But of course, it is one-sided. Those who support the government are the ones that are allowed to ask questions. The most important question in the midst of the killings going on in Nigeria today should have been, what is going on with including Nigeria as a country that persecutes Christians? What was the ground for removing Nigeria? These are the questions. Validate or, to validate, give a validation to why America removed Nigeria from the country that. These are the things. Let Blinken defend the removal of Nigeria. They could not do that because all this is about Biafra. Yet they couldn't ask any question about Biafra. All this is about Simon Ekpa is killing military. Simon Ekpa is killing police. Oh, this guy have killed all the security forces. What can we do? That is what they are going to discuss behind the door. But you know what? I want to assure Biafrans that we are not shaking. You see this? We will take this giant gorilla or giant Goliath and we are going to fall it. I want to assure Biafrans one thing today. We will show the world what democracy is all about. That's why we are adopting democratic process, guerrilla war, every approach, every mechanism, everything that we can do to get our freedom is what we are doing. And we call it multi-dimensional approach. They say we cannot get it by gun. We are now adopting the referendum. They say we cannot get it by referendum because they will not validate it. We have carried a gun. They say it cannot be gun. We have beginning to delegitimize them. They say it is not like that. All the multinational corporations in Nigeria operating in Biafra territory will be decolonized. The decolonization has started. I want Biafrans to understand that this giant, we must fall it. And it is going to happen this year. In 2023, when we were building the foundation of Biafra government, a lot of people do not understand it. This is not the time to stay by the side and begin to watch how it will go. It is the time you come in and support this government. Financially, when the enemy want to attack you, they will begin to give you emotional blackmail, telling you, oh, everything is about finance. Everything is about finance. Without finance, you go nowhere. And that's why they always try to mock you. Everything is about finance. So that some of you who doesn't have liver, you will back down. Oh, okay, let us not talk about finance. How are you going to buy gun? How are you going to buy bullet? How are you going to buy many things that you need in order to face this terrorist state? It is finance. Ukraine today, America is funding Ukraine. They have not succeeded and they are still at war. Every day, Ukraine is sourcing for money from one country to another. And that is how it is going to be until they finish and win the war, if they can win at all. So one thing I want to tell Biafrans today is that when they think that they will come with their shenanigan by inviting Secretary of State, so that they will pretend that they will come to demonstrate that, oh, America is with us. America will not come to Biafra land and fight. Blinken cannot carry AK-47 to come and kill us. That's the one thing I want to assure. And they can never send the military to come and kill us. We'll fight them back. Believe me, this is a very delicate issue. When you come, there are countries standing by that will embrace us. So I want Biafrans not to shake. This year, we will declare the restoration of independent state of Biafra for the benefit of mankind, for the benefit of America itself, for the benefit of Europe, because if Nigeria is not disintegrated by force, they will become a threat to America and Europe. Of course, people like Blinken are only protecting their own political interest. It is not the interest of Americans. Because when Nigeria will sponsor terrorist attack in America, it is not going to go to Blinken house to kill. They are not going to go to Blinken house to kill him. They will target American populace and American citizens. When Abdul Muttalib wanted to bomb America, none of the American politicians were in the plane. The plane were carrying ordinary American citizens. So their target can never be all these politicians who depend on their selfish interests and does not think anything about their citizens. So Blinken coming to Nigeria does not validate anything. It can never stop the disintegration of Nigeria. It can never stop Biafrans from carrying arms for self-defense. It can never stop us from making sure that we neutralize the terrorists in our land who come in the name of Nigeria Army. And the best thing is that it was not even discussed publicly. So my fellow Biafran, as you can see, we have more listeners on this space than whatever that was listening to Blinken. On channel television, there were just 600 people, including myself. Here we have over 800 listening without much notice. And they say democracy is by the majority, by the people, and for the people. We control the media. We have defeated Nigeria. Today we are going to conduct self-referendum under the Biafra government in exile. And it is electronic voting, e-voting system. There will be no rigging. Your only job as a Biafran is to make sure you vote, mobilize Biafrans, your fellow Biafrans, your family members to go and vote for Biafra referendum. We are looking for 20 million plus. 20 million plus because the people that registered to vote in the entire Biafra territory during the Nigeria shambolic election was 25 million people, or 24 million. From that 24 million, over 20 million people boycotted this shambolic election called Nigeria on the order of the Biafra government. They boycotted it. Everybody witnessed it. So we are looking for that 20 million. That is the number we are looking for to start with. Let us see after this referendum, let us see who will come and stand on our way. And like I have said, for those who are asking questions, listen attentively what is going to happen after the referendum. After the referendum, we will call the result. When we call the result during the convention, the second convention and the historic convention in Finland, we will now intensify the guerrilla warfare after the declaration. Our target then will be government houses, making sure we give them order, ultimatum, to leave Biafra land. Failing to leave the next day, immediately the end of that ultimatum is given, the next day, our target will be government houses. Our target will be barracks because this is where they stay to plan the killings of Biafra people. And to defend our land, our women, and our children, we must go to the government house to neutralize them. We must make sure there is no Nigeria radio station will be operating in Biafra territory under this government after the declaration. This is where we are going, our people. There is clear direction. There is clear road to where we are going. After that, when we have gained our ground, we will use prisoners to exchange other prisoners that they have captured in Biafra land, including our leader, Mazin Amdekan. This is the way forward, my people. And on this note, I will welcome questions and answer for those who are still confused about what we are doing.
I rest my case. From me, from here, for now, I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain Biafra Superstars Media. As I leave, I want to say again to Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, please save your money. Save the American taxpayers' money. Do not waste your money in trying to assist Nigeria to become one. There is no way Nigeria will be one. We are done as a people. We are done as a nation. We are saying we want our independence. We, the Biafrans, we are going home. Do not waste the taxpayers' money of America. Mr. ANT0NY BLlNKEN, it is time for you to support the Biafran movement. From me, from here, for now, I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain Biafra Superstars Media. God bless you.
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Logan, BLlNKEN, Lord Logan, and it's wild Flora show. 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation, ever since annihilation. Nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Odudua, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now.